Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the chapter 15 summary using the points to ponder. I unfortunately forgot to record it during the class, so this is a solo session where I will go over the questions and say the answers myself. The first question is, what is the topic of the 15th chapter? The answer is, the topic of the 15th chapter is Nirguna Brahman. That is what's called Purushottama. Purushottama means the supreme Purusha. It refers to the all-pervading Brahman, the attributeless Brahman. And it is the same as the Atma. It's like space. There is space everywhere. There's that space that's there everywhere that pervades the universe. The consciousness that pervades the universe, just like space pervading the entire universe, is called Brahman. So it's called outer space. There's also space within the body, and that is called inner space. So, or space within a home, that's called inner space. Space outside is outer space. Like that, the consciousness that is pervading this body, it's called Atma. It's the same. Atma and Brahman are the same. And Bhagavan says that in Shloka 6, that is slide 46. So if you go to slide 40, or for Shloka 7, so Bhagavan says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashashtani Indriyani Prakristani Karshati. An amsha, an aspect of mind pervades all these sentient beings in the Jiva Loka, in the world of beings. Okay, portion of mind has become the eternal Jiva. Jiva refers to the subtle body and the reflected consciousness. So there is sunlight. Remember the pot example, a pot with water, there is sunlight. And when there's water in the pot, there's a reflection of the sunlight. And this reflection, what does it do? It reflects, and entire pot is now illuminated. So it's the reflection of the sun. So the mind is like the reflecting medium. So it reflects the light, and the mind reflects it to the senses, and then the senses give it to the various parts of the body. Okay, that's how the body becomes sentient. It's just one reflection after another reflection. Okay. What are the topics covered in the 15th chapter? So for this, we go to slide number 6. First, samsara varnanam, the description of samsara. What is samsara? We'll see. So we'll answer the question soon. The transmigration. 1, 2, and half of the third shloka. Then moksha sadhanani, spiritual disciplines leading to liberation. Half of the third shloka, then the fourth and the fifth and the sixth shlokas. Brahmana sarvatmakatvam, Brahman as all jivas and as Jagat. Then Brahmana purushottamatvam, Brahman being Purushottama, that is 16, 17, 18. And then Brahma Jnana Phalam Cha, the knowledge of such a Brahman and the benefit of such a knowledge, last 2 shlokas, 19 and 20 in this chapter. So, samsara varnanam, moksha sadhanani, Brahmana sarvatmakatvam, Brahmana purushottamatvam, Brahma Jnana Phalam Cha. Brahman so the entire chapter is on Brahman. And what is samsara? Samsara refers to the whole life of change, birth, death, old age, disease, death, association, dissociation. So that entire cycle that we go through is called samsara. To get a more detailed description, go to slide 10. There we'll see samsara is a variety of problems that a human being continuously faces. To get out of the problem, they continuously run about. Not only do they run about in this lifetime, but also in the following lifetimes. Freedom from that samsara is called moksha. Brahmajnanam is the only way for that moksha. The first 2.5 verses talk about samsara using the analogy of a ashwatha tree or a peepal tree. Describe the analogy of a peepal tree to samsara. So we've seen that the first few shlokas, they talk about this is the ashwatha tree. So what is the analogy of samsara to the ashwatha tree? So the analogy between a peepal tree and samsara, both have their roots above. Urdhva moolam. Moolam is root, urdhvam is above. Brahman is the root above. Moolam, urdhvam, and branches. Shakam, adaha, adashakam. All the branches are below. What does each branch represent? Each represents a body. All the branches at a given level represent a loka. All the beings in this world. Then there are higher lokas. The higher branches represent the higher lokas. The lower branches represent the lower lokas. The sustaining leaves of the samsara tree are the Veda prescribed actions, karma kanda of the Vedas. So, chandan siyasya partnani. Chandas refers to the Veda. Parna refers to the leaves. Karma kanda of the Vedas. So the Vedas are divided into the Veda Purva, which is the action part to purify the mind. It's also called the Karma Kanda, and the Veda Anta, the Jnana Kanda, that is the knowledge part about the nature of consciousness. And Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita is essentially a essence of Vedanta with some information on the values and things to purify the mind. So it is a Veda Sara, it is the essence of the Vedas, primarily focused on Vedanta. Jiva is compared to a bird. The bird comes and stays on a tree for some time, then flies away. Like the Jiva takes residence in a body. So the bird comes and sits on a branch, right? And then flies away. Like that, the Jiva comes and takes residence in a body for some time and then leaves. So the branches at a certain level for a loka, middle branches, branches at a certain level form a loka. The middle branches form the madhyama loka. That's where we are. Higher branches form the heavens, higher lokas. And the next shariram is determined in this life itself in the form of a shoot. And why is the shoot coming out? It's like a sense objects. They draw it determines the next shariram. So the sense objects are compared to the shoot. The shoot starts coming out in the branch itself. In this body itself, your next body is determined. And what is it determined by? By desires and aversions. So that determines what our next body is. Gunas are like the sap that nourishes the tree of samsara. And the samsara tree can be felled by a sharp axe of detachment. Asanga shastrena dridena chutva. Secondary roots are the likes and dislikes that produce the karma palam. And the origin of each is difficult to find. Tree, which is the root, and which is the cause and effect. How does the tree come? There is the root, it falls down, then again the tree grows. So it's like an ongoing cycle. Origin like that. The origin of karma janma, it's very difficult to trace. Origin of each, both the tree and samsara, is difficult to find. We'll go to the fifth question. Verses 4, 5, 6 and second half of verse 3 talk about moksha prapti sadhanani, spiritual disciplines leading to moksha or liberation. What are the 4 spiritual disciplines that are outlined? For the answer, you have to go to slide number 32, and there it talks about vairagyam or dispassion, brahma vichara, inquiry into the root of the samsara vriksha, sharanagrati, complete prapatti in Vaishnavic terms, surrender or complete devotion, satguna, values to maintain a healthy mind. Then comes the 6th question. Which shloka is the Brahma Lakshana shloka and why? So the 6th shloka in this chapter is called Brahma Lakshana Shloka. And why is it called Brahma Lakshana Shloka? Because it defines Brahman. Brahma Lakshana Shloka is a shloka, a verse which defines Brahman. Wherever Brahman is defined, that verse is considered very important. This verse occurs both in Kathopanishad and Mundaka Upanishad. So Brahman is defined as that which illuminates everything, that which is the subject, never the object. When you perceive something, it becomes the object of your perception. Natad vasayate suryaha. The sun does not illuminate it. So in Vedanta, consciousness is compared to light, because light is something in whose presence things are known. Like that, consciousness is that in whose presence everything is revealed. So what's operating in our mind is consciousness. It is not perfect consciousness, it is reflected consciousness. The reflecting medium is the mind. If your mind is sharp, the reflection is good. Superb mind. So yoga tells you to make the mind very calm, so the reflection is good. So light and consciousness, there's analogies. In Vedanta, light is used to illustrate consciousness. And it says that nothing can illuminate this Brahman, this consciousness. Sun cannot illuminate it, moon cannot illuminate it, not the fire. That is the supreme abode, attaining which they return not. So consciousness is always the subject, never the object. It always illumines everything. It cannot be illuminated by anything because it is you. And the seventh shloka. Describe the analogy of the wind carrying scents from one place to another, to the jiva leaving the body and going to another body. So for this, you have to go to slide 48. It says, when the jiva leaves the body, it pulls the five sense organs along with the mind as the sixth. All these are abiding in Prakriti. Mind, sense organs, they're all in Prakriti. They're inert. And when he acquires another body, he goes into the new body grasping these, like wind carrying scents from their sources. So wind carries scents from place A to place B. It just blows the smell, right? Like that, when the jiva leaves. And this jiva is, as I said, it is a subtle body with, it's a reflected consciousness. So in the pot example, the water is the subtle body. The clay pot is the physical body, stula shariram. The water is like the sukshma shariram. And the chidabhasa is like the reflection on the water. So it's a reflection of the sun on the water. And that's what's kind of illuminating so it's reflecting off the water, and it's just getting scattered, and it's fully illuminating the pot inside. And you also see a reflection, nice reflection. So like that, the mind and prana and the jnanendriya, karmendriya, all these things are the subtle body. And the subtle body, when let's say the water, you pour the water from one pot to another, the water is falling. There's a reflection on the water, like a waterfall. You're coming, the sun, you see the reflection, sparkling light like that. It is not perceivable. You don't see a nice sun, but it's still reflecting. And it is the consciousness which powers the subtle body to go from one place to another. And what does it power it according to? According to the law of karma. So the consciousness it's like a judge. It just makes sure the law of karma operates properly. In which shloka is Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, that is the oneness of Jivatma and Paramatma, revealed in the 15th chapter. It is the 15th shloka. So the 15th shloka, you can see Bhagavan says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. I am seated in the hearts of all beings as the Atma. I am the Atma. So you see this here. Sarvasya chaham kriti sannivishtaha. I am seated in the hearts of all beings as the Atma in the 15th shloka. What are the two Purushas in this world? So before that, the Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, this is the main central topic of the third Shatkam. The Charama Shatkam, Prathama Shatkam, first 6 chapters are Jiva Swarupam. Madhyama Shatkam, middle 6 chapters are Ishvara Swarupam. And the Charama Shatkam, Antima Shatkam, the last 6 chapters are the Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam, the oneness, like a wave and ocean. They're in some sense, they're both one and the same, because it's not, don't look at the content, but they're both water. Okay. So what are the two Purushas in the world? For that, you have to go to slide 71. The two Purushas are the Shara Purusha and Akshara Purusha. Shara Purusha is the manifest matter, which includes all beings and inanimate objects. It's also called Prakriti Tattvam. And the Akshara Purusha is pure Maya. It's unmanifest matter. The subtle body belongs to the Maya. And then what is there's one Purusha above all that. What is the Uttama Purusha, the superior Purusha? The Uttama Purusha is nothing but Paramatma. It is nothing but the consciousness, Brahman. Uttama Purusha Stvanyaha Paramatmet Udahritaha Yo Lokatrayamavishya Bhivartapyaya Ishvaraha. There's another Purusha which is called the Paramatma, the indestructible Lord who pervading the 3 worlds sustains them. Okay. So with this, we conclude the summary of the 15th chapter.